Welcome to the theater of healthy lies, where green labels are just clever traps designed to harvest your trust and your gold. We inhabit a landscape of glowing promises, where the truth is often buried deep beneath the bold, bright letters of corporate marketing. Beginning with number one, the gluten-free obsession, a very expensive and totally unnecessary sacrifice for those who are actually perfectly healthy today. Removing gluten when your body is functioning perfectly is like using a massive industrial chainsaw just to slice a tiny piece of. You are not just cutting gluten. You are also accidentally scaring away essential fibers, iron, and calcium from your daily nutritional intake. You pay a massive premium for bread that tastes like dry cardboard, all for the sake of feeling superior in your diet. To make gluten-free food taste like actual food, corporations secretly pump in extra amounts of sugar and unhealthy saturated fats for flavor. These products often contain more calories than the original versions, turning your weight loss journey into a very expensive mathematical disaster today. Your body is running around like a headless chicken, desperately searching for the vital minerals you have foolishly discarded for a label. Ted, the CEO, smiles while you willingly pay 300% more for a value that does not actually exist for you. You are buying a clean hallucination, while in reality, you are consuming expensive industrial waste hidden inside a very pretty green package. Research shows people often gain weight on this diet because the substitute foods are nutritionally hollow and packed with processed cornstarch. Stop throwing your gold into the void of fake promises unless a real doctor has specifically told you that you must do. Ignorance is the most fertile ground for corporations to plant fear and harvest the hard-earned money from your unsuspecting and busy wallet. Always remember, a gluten-free label is not a health certificate. It is simply a much more expensive receipt for your digestive confusion. Advancing to number two, rice cakes, the circular nutritional deserts that people consume in hopes of disappearing into a much smaller, thinner body. Imagine eating flavored air shaped like a coaster, providing absolutely zero fiber, zero protein, and a blood sugar spike like a rocket. The high glycemic index of these white discs turns them into a hidden metabolic disaster, far worse than a simple slice of bread. Because they lack any real substance, your brain never receives the signal of fullness, leaving you perpetually hungry for more expensive junk. The puffed rice transforms into glucose faster than actual table sugar, leaving you craving for more toxic garbage in just a few minutes. Ted, the CEO, is literally selling you air at a premium price, inflating his corporate profits while your actual nutrition completely evaporates. You might as well eat the cardboard box they came in, as it probably contains more fiber and less sugar than the product. It is a tragedy of modern dieting, where we starve ourselves while filling our bellies with processed clouds of useless and empty calories. They removed the fat but added a chemical cocktail to provide flavor, proving that the corporate version of health is a nightmare. You are trapped in a cycle of insulin spikes and crashes, all because you believed a label that promised a guilt-free snack today. Switch the processed air for real fuel because your body deserves a building block, not a temporary and very deceptive sugar high. Stop worshiping the church of low-calorie cardboard and start feeding your soul with the density of real, honest, and unprocessed whole foods. Their marketing crumbles under the weight of biological truth, exposing the rice cake as a masterclass in selling absolutely nothing for profit. Satiety comes from nutrients, not from the volume of air you consume, a lesson the food industry hopes you never truly learn. Always remember, a rice cake is just a puffed lie, a legal way to sell you hunger disguised as a healthy lifestyle choice. Proceeding to number three, multigrain bread, the colorful masquerade where white flour wears a brown suit to trick your innocent, healthy eyes today. Most multigrain loaves are just white bread dyed with caramel color, sprinkled with a few seeds to create a deceptive and healthy aura. Unless the label specifically says 100% whole grain, you are just buying a high-sugar loaf wearing a very clever disguise. Ted paints the bread with molasses and caramel, selling you the appearance of health while keeping the addictive, refined flour inside secretly. Your blood sugar rises just as fast as if you ate a donut, leading to a mid-morning crash that sends you reaching out. Multigrain simply means it contains more than one type of grain, even if those grains are all processed into useless and white dust. They charge you double for the natural look, exploiting your desire to do better while delivering the exact same metabolic damage today. Read the fine print to find the hidden sugars used to make that brown crust look rustic, a legal trap for the consumers. Reject the fake brown bread and seek the heavy, dense reality of true whole grains that actually nourish your tired and hungry body. Real bread is heavy, dark, and full of life, not a fluffy cloud of dyed flour designed to survive on a shelf forever. They use corporate camouflage to hide the industrial process, turning a factory product into something that looks like it came from heaven today. Satiety and energy come from the germ in the bran, parts of the grain that the corporations discarded for a longer shelf life. Join the flour rebellion by demanding the whole truth, because your health is more important than a pretty, brown, and deceptive loaf today. Don't be fooled by a few sunflower seeds on the crust. Look for the words that actually mean something in the law today. Always remember, multigrain is just a crowd of processed grains, while whole grain is the single honest truth your body truly needs. Arriving at number 4, agave nectar, the golden syrup that claims to be a natural nectar from heaven but is actually industrial. You imagine a majestic desert cactus, but the reality is a high-heat chemical factory where every drop of health is carefully destroyed. This syrup contains more fructose than high-fructose corn syrup, a terrifying secret the food industry hides behind a very pretty label. While glucose fuels your cells, fructose heads directly to your liver, creating a metabolic storm that your body was never designed to. It is the silent architect of fatty liver disease, a modern plague delivered in a beautiful glass bottle for a very high price. They brag about a low glycemic index while ignoring the massive toxic load placed on your organs by this highly processed concentrated. Ted, the CEO, markets it as an ancient superfood, using the history of the cactus to sell you a modern chemical nightmare. The industrial heat and enzymes strip away the fiber and minerals, leaving nothing but a thick, sweet liquid of pure metabolic disaster. Your liver struggles to process the overload, turning the excess nectar into visceral fat that wraps around your vital organs like a... Mike looks at the bottle with deep suspicion, realizing that a fancy name does not change the biological reality of the poison. Sarah pours the nectar over her pancakes, believing she is being healthy, while her liver begins the difficult task of fat storage. Stop searching for the holy grail of sweeteners and understand that sugar is still sugar, no matter how exotic the name sounds. The word nectar is a legal magic trick, designed to make you think of flowers instead of the reality of industrial production. You pay a premium for a product that is metabolically worse than regular sugar, a perfect victory for corporate greed and deception. Always remember, agave is not a health food, it is just a highly concentrated fructose trap designed to sweeten your path toward. Reaching number 5, vitamin water, a colorful liquid illusion that uses a healthy name to disguise a bottle of processed sugar and candy. It is mostly flavored sugar water with a tiny splash of synthetic vitamins, a legal trick designed to make you feel virtuous. The labels promise focus and energy, but the only thing you truly receive is a massive sugar crash and a much lighter wallet. A single bottle contains more sugar than a chocolate bar, yet it sits proudly in the health aisle of every local grocery store. Corporate lawyers even argued in court that no reasonable person should ever believe that their colorful water was actually a healthy product today. This is the power of the healthy halo, where a single word like vitamin blinds us to the reality of 30 grams sugar. Ted, the CEO, uses neon colors to distract your brain, turning a bottle of metabolic poison into a vibrant and essential lifestyle accessory. Your body cannot even absorb most of these synthetic vitamins, meaning you are literally flushing your money and health down the toilet today. The temporary energy boost is just a sugar high, followed by a dark valley of fatigue that leaves you reaching for more. They profit from your thirst for health, selling you a miracle in a bottle that is biologically no better than a regular soda. Real hydration does not come in neon colors. It comes from the simple, clear, and honest water that nature provided for us for. Eat your vitamins from real fruit and drink your water plain, because the corporation is not your doctor and never will be today. The word water is the bait, used to reel you in while the sugar does the heavy lifting for their corporate profit margins. Walk away from the rainbow traps and keep your blood sugar stable, because your health is far more valuable than their clever marketing. Always remember, if your water has a marketing department and a neon glow, it is probably just a very expensive bottle of lies. Advancing to number 6, granola, the crunchy breakfast candy that hides behind a mountain of healthy oats and very deceptive marketing images today. It looks like a rustic gift from nature, but most commercial versions are actually held together by industrial oils and refined liquid sugar. A single bowl can contain more calories than a double cheeseburger, yet we eat it while feeling incredibly proud of our healthy. Ted, the CEO, uses oil as a glue to create those satisfying clusters, ensuring that every bite is packed with hidden, processed fats. They remove the fat to claim health benefits, but they replace it with massive amounts of sugar to keep you addicted and hungry. The serving size is a mathematical joke, suggesting you only eat 2 tablespoons while you actually consume the entire bag in one sitting. Those bits of dried fruit are often infused with even more sugar, transforming a natural snack into a concentrated and very dangerous dessert. Your energy spikes and then falls off a cliff, leaving you tired and reaching for another bowl of this very expensive breakfast candy. They take cheap oats and coat them in sugar to sell them at a premium price, exploiting your deep desire for physical health. The plain oats in the humble bag are the real heroes, but they don't have a multi-million-dollar marketing department to tell you. Reject the processed clusters and choose the simple grain, because your body knows the difference between real fuel and a corporate sugar high. Granola is just a candy bar that's shattered into pieces, a legal disguise that allows sugar to enter your breakfast without any suspicion. Walk away from the crunch and keep your insulin stable, because the most advertised healthy foods are often the ones you should avoid. We wonder why we are tired after a healthy breakfast, forgetting that we just consumed 60 grams of sugar before the clock struck. Always remember, if your breakfast is as sweet as a dessert, it probably is a dessert, no matter what the green box claims. Approaching number 7, vegetable chips. The fried salad myth that convinces you a salty snack is a healthy substitute for real, fresh greens. They wear the vibrant colors of beets and kale, but those colors are often just industrial powders sprayed onto a processed potato base. You think you are eating a garden, but you are actually consuming a deep-fried slice of starch soaked in cheap and inflammatory. Compare the nutrients to a regular potato chip, and you will find they are identical twins, separated only by a very clever. Ted, the CEO, hides the deep fryer behind a picture of a fresh farm, selling you the illusion of a healthy, crunchy garden. Sarah eats the whole bag, believing she has satisfied her daily vegetable requirement, while her body struggles with the massive sodium in. The high heat of the frying process destroys every single vitamin and enzyme, leaving behind a colorful, crunchy, and nutritionally hollow corporate product. Look at the ingredients and you will see potato flour at the top, proving that your vegetable chips are just potatoes in disguise. They are engineered to be addictive, using salt and fat to bypass your brain's natural satiety signals, leading to a mindless snacking disaster. You pay double the price for the word vegetable, funding Ted's next private jet while you consume the exact same junk food. Mike realizes that a chip is still a chip, no matter how much green powder is sprinkled on top of the industrial starches. If you want vegetables, eat a real carrot, because the factory cannot replicate the complex and healing magic of a natural raw. Ted knows that as long as the bag is green, people will ignore the reality of the oil. A perfect legal deception today. True health is found in the soil, not in a crinkly plastic bag filled with salt, oil, and the broken dreams of. Always remember, vegetable chips are just a fried hallucination, a legal way to sell you a salad that never actually existed in reality. Arriving at number 8, fat-free yogurt, where the removal of natural fat is legally replaced by a mountain of processed white sugar today. Sarah grabs the fat-free container, feeling like a nutritional saint, while she is actually purchasing a cup of colorful and liquid dessert. Without fat, the yogurt tastes like chalk, so the corporation injects massive amounts of corn syrup to keep you addicted and buying. Ted, the CEO, laughs as he markets sugar as a health product, knowing that fat-free is the most profitable lie in the dairy. They add industrial thickeners like cornstarch and gelatin to mimic the creamy texture that was lost when they removed the healthy. Compare the sugar in your healthy yogurt to a bowl of ice cream, and you will realize they are practically the same thing. The massive sugar load spikes your insulin, signaling your body to store fat instead of burning it, a cruel and legal metabolic. Natural fat provides satiety, but this sugary version leaves you hungry within an hour, forcing you to reach for another corporate snack. That fruit on the bottom is actually just high fructose jam, a concentrated sugar bomb that cancels out any potential benefit from the. You are feeding the bad bacteria in your gut with sugar, while the label brags about the good bacteria that are probably Mike
30
looks at
grams
the
sugar.
nutrition facts and sees 30 grams of sugar, realizing he has been eating a candy bar in a cup. Real full-fat yogurt is the honest choice, providing the fuel your brain needs without the devastating insulin spikes of the processed version. They use the word zero to distract you from the numbers that actually matter, a psychological trick that ruins your metabolic health. Dump the sugary sludge and choose the simplicity of nature, because your body was never meant to process this level of industrial. Always remember, fat-free is usually a code word for sugar-loaded, a legal deception that turns a healthy snack into a dessert disaster. Approaching number 9, fruit juice, the sugary mirage that hides behind a wall of fresh fruit in a very deceptive health halo today. Sarah drinks a giant glass of orange juice every morning, believing she is filling her body with liquid sunshine in pure natural health. But the factory removed the fiber, leaving behind a concentrated liquid sugar that hits your liver with the force of a high-speed train. A glass of apple juice contains as much sugar as a can of cola, yet one is marketed as medicine in the other. Without fiber to slow it down, the fructose spikes your insulin and signals your body to store every single drop as visceral fat. Ted, the CEO, sells you the convenience of the bottle while keeping the life-saving fiber for himself to throw into the industrial. Most of the natural vitamins are destroyed by the pasteurization process, so they add synthetic ones back to keep the label legally true. Liquid calories are invisible to your brain, meaning you can consume 6 oranges in a single minute without ever feeling full or satisfied. Your liver is the only organ that processes fructose, and this liquid overload is the silent architect of modern metabolic disease and failure. Mike looks at the colorful bottle and realizes it is just a soda in a very clever, very expensive, and very green disguise. If you want the benefits, eat the whole fruit, because nature packaged the sugar with the antidote known as fiber for a reason. The words 100% pure are a legal shield used to hide the reality of a processed and highly concentrated sugar bomb. It is a thirst trap for the health conscious, a way to sell cheap sugar at a premium price under the banner of health. Dump the juice and choose the water because your body deserves the truth instead of a colorful and very dangerous liquid lie today. Always remember, fruit juice is just soda without the bubbles, a legal deception that turns nature into a very profitable metabolic disaster. Approaching number 10, protein bars, the ultimate candy bar with a gym membership that disguises its high sugar and fat with clever marketing. Sarah buys a bar after a workout, feeling strong and healthy, while the label hides a list of 40 processed industrial chemical ingredients. Ted, the CEO, adds protein powder to a regular candy recipe and increases the price by 300% for your fitness gains. These bars are often packed with sugar alcohols that destroy your digestion, creating a bloating disaster that the shiny package never actually mentions. Mike compares the ingredients to a Snickers bar and realizes that the protein bar actually contains more saturated fat and artificial sweetener chemicals. The texture comes from industrial gums and thickeners, a chewy laboratory experiment designed to survive on a shelf for over 3 long years. They use soy protein isolate, a cheap byproduct of the oil industry, instead of the high-quality nutrition your body truly and deeply needs. Sarah feels like an athlete while eating a chocolate-coated brick, unaware that her insulin is spiking just like after eating actual processed candy. Real protein comes from whole foods like eggs and steak, not from a processed bar created by a chemical engineer in a factory today. Ted hides the sugar under 20 different names, a legal word game designed to trick you into believing his product is healthy and natural. Mike throws the shiny wrapper into the trash, choosing real food over the expensive lies sold in the fitness section of the store. The final curtain falls on our theater of healthy deceptions, exposing the calculated greed of companies that profit from your beautiful health goals. You have seen the truth behind the green labels and the bold promises, realizing that simplicity is always better than complex corporate deception. Knowledge is the only weapon you have against these industrial giants. So keep your eyes open and your mind sharp every single day. We have traveled from gluten-free myths to protein bar lies, uncovering a system that values profit far more than your actual biological health. If you want to join the rebellion against corporate deception, hit the subscribe button and become a member of our clever, truth-seeking tribe. Share this video with those you love and leave a comment below about the biggest health lie you have ever actually believed today. Your support helps us continue our mission to expose the truth, one green label at a time, for a better and much healthier world. Stay curious, stay skeptical, And never let a shiny package dictate what you put inside your precious and one-of-a-kind body. The theater is now
Goodbye
closed,
for
but your journey
now.
toward the truth has only just
Stay
begun.
safe.
Until next
And
time,
stay
stay
smart.
smart, stay rebel, and
And
goodbye.
stay